Moments earlier, activist Jedediah Brown had called Supervisor Tiffany Henyard an expletive.
At the Thornton Township Board meeting, tensions were already high, but when activist Jedediah Brown labeled Supervisor Tiffany Henyard exploitative, it took a completely different turn. That one comment started a series of events that nobody could have predicted. What transpired next was a startling moment of chaos that left everyone talking and wanting to see how it all happened. There have been new developments in Thornton Township, where last night's board meeting descended into violence after activist Jedediah Brown made a remark about Supervisor Tiffany Henyard. Things quickly got out of hand after activist Jedediah Brown made a remark directed at Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, and you won't believe what happened next. Stay tuned for the startling facts. Investigations into political corruption and financial mismanagement are ongoing. At the Thornton Township Board meeting, chaos broke out, and it wasn't just political tension. Activist Jedediah Brown's comments set off a chain reaction that resulted in a full-scale fight involving Tiffany Henyard's boyfriend, township employees, and even Henyard herself. At one point, Henyard ended up on the floor, losing her shoe in the process. Are approaching, will Henyard's reign fight her way through the storm, or is this the tipping point? Write your ideas in the comments section. Hello everyone, this is Olivia. Welcome to Visual Vortex, where the drama never stops and the truth hits you harder than a knockout punch. From combat sports pandemonium to Hollywood meltdowns and political showdowns, we bring you the tales that they don't want you to hear. Things are about to get dirty, so remain tuned in, hit the subscribe button, and enable notifications. No filters, no fluff, just raw, unedited action. Here is where the genuine discussions take place, so please leave a comment and share your thoughts. On the surface, it all began with a standard board meeting. It appeared to be just another routine gathering of local officials discussing concerns facing the community. But as the discussion progressed, something caused a significant change. Residents who were frustrated with the way things were being handled were eager to express their displeasure as tensions that had been simmering beneath the surface began to flare up. But activist Jedediah Brown's remark to Supervisor Tiffany Henyard was the true tipping point. His remarks initially sounded harmless, but they quickly struck a chord. Rather than carrying on with the meeting as scheduled, what should have been a straightforward conversation descended into complete chaos, and the mood quickly changed from annoyance to indignation. Shortly after, tempers erupted, but this time, fists were used instead of just stern words. Yes, you heard correctly. This was more than just a heated argument. It escalated into a full-fledged fight, and Tiffany Henyard, who was in control, didn't back down. Rather, she immediately became involved, which was stunning and unexpected. If you're unfamiliar with Tiffany Henyard, allow me to briefly introduce her. What do you think about this abrupt escalation? Did she make things worse, or was she warranted in entering the fray? Henyard has been embroiled in a number of scandals throughout her tenure as Thornton's mayor, and as the supervisor of town of Thornton, she has never shied away from a fight, whether it is personal problems or political fallout, from financial mismanagement to her ferocious public confrontations. Although Henyard's name has frequently made headlines for all the wrong reasons, what happened at the Thornton Township meeting may have been her most shocking moment. Until that point, most people had only heard her words, but when she stood up and charged into the chaos, her actions took center stage. It wasn't just a moment of personal confrontation. Many have criticized her for her combative and often inappropriate conduct. Some people claim that she thrives on conflict and uses it to keep control in a situation when she is losing authority. However, was her choice to enter the fight a spontaneous response to increasing pressure, or was it just another deliberate attempt to establish dominance? What are your thoughts on Henyard's reputation? Has she always been this contentious, or has her most recent altercation brought her even more notoriety for the wrong reasons? Please share your opinions below. The actual catalyst for the altercation was activist Jedediah Brown's remark that offended Henyard. His strong criticism of Henyard's leadership caused many in the Browns' comment quickly became a rallying cry for those who had been quietly fuming with dissatisfaction for months. But Henyard wasn't going to just sit back and take it in a move that astounded everyone. With emotions already running high, she wasn't about to let that kind of disrespect slide. Her choice to engage in physical combat was, to put it mildly, controversial. Was it an attempt to defend herself, or was it an instinctive act? Regaining control over a situation that was becoming out of her control was Henyard's response. Was it the appropriate one, or did she make things worse? When Woods, Henyard's lover, entered the fray, it was the turning point. Woods confronted BRAWL right away, and the situation quickly turned from verbal jabs to physical violence. The room was in disarray, with punches being thrown, tables being overturned, and people screaming and yelling. This was no longer a board meeting, it was a full-fledged fight, but the most shocking part was that Henyard didn't just stand by and watch. Instead, she charged toward BRAWL. Some witnesses said she was attempting to break up the fight, while others saw it as an attempt to get physical herself, but the result was the same regardless of her intentions. What do you think of Henyard's involvement in the fight? Do you think she was attempting to keep control, or did she allow her emotions to get the better of her? She was thrown to the ground and lost her shoe in the process. It was a scene that no one could have predicted, especially from someone in her position of authority. After the fight was over and the repercussions became apparent, things didn't appear to be going well for Henyard. Please leave your thoughts below. Camel Woods and another Henyard AI, William Moore, 2 township workers, were put on administrative leave while their conduct was being looked into. Her involvement in the altercation was under intense scrutiny. Was she directly responsible for escalating the situation? Had her leadership contributed to the tensions that led to the brawl? The investigation was launched to answer these questions, but one thing was certain. Henyard's political career had taken a major hit for months. She had already been under fire for her management of Dalton and Thornton Township, and now her future seemed even more uncertain. Her reputation was on the line, and her actions were only contributing to the conflict. The fighter, what do you think about an investigation being conducted into Henyard? Despite the increasing pressure and growing backlash, Henyard remained defiant and refused to back down from the criticism. In fact, she doubled down on her actions, claiming that her safety had been threatened and that she had only rushed to intervene to protect herself and others. However, let's face it, was this still a personal matter for Henyard, or did she see this brawl as a way to maintain control of a situation that was rapidly slipping away from her grasp? Many people think Henyard was attempting to demonstrate fortitude to both her defenders and her critics. She may have tried to show that she wouldn't back down from criticism by getting involved in the fight, but many others are disagreeing. Instead of exhibiting leadership, Henyard's actions might have only served to further solidify her reputation as a chaotic person. The question still stands, was this a calculated political move, or was it a personal response to growing pressure? Do you think Henyard's defiance was a wise decision, or did it only make matters worse? As if the altercation only days before this dramatic occurrence wasn't enough, share your thoughts in the comments section. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot gave the Dalton trustees a damning report that detailed grave concerns regarding financial mismanagement under Henyard's leadership. The report went beyond the township's daily problems to address more significant issues with money management. Lightfoot's findings, which included claims of unlawful expenditures and a lack of openness, raised serious red flags. Yard was already being closely watched, and the fight couldn't have happened at a worse moment. Was Henyard's involvement in the battle a means of diverting attention away from the escalating financial scandal, or was it just her increasing annoyance with everything bad? Pay attention. What do you think? Did Henyard's involvement in the brawl help deflect attention from the financial scandal, or was it just another example of her poor decision-making? The brawl in Thornton Township sent shockwaves through the community, and residents who were already fed up with Henyard's leadership saw it as yet another example of her poor judgment. Many are calling for her resignation, citing her failure to manage Thornton Township and Dalton properly. The brawl has only made these complaints worse. But Henyard isn't giving up. defending her actions by saying that she was only attempting to protect herself and others from an instance that could be hazardous. It is unclear whether or not people accept that justification, but it is certain that Henyard's future is now in jeopardy. Only time will tell how this plays out. But do you think Henyard will survive this scandal? Or is this the last nail in the coffin for her political career? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. What transpired in Thornton Township is not a singular occurrence. Rather, it is a component of a much more significant issue. Dalton and Thornton Township have long suffered from financial mismanagement, a lack of accountability, and a dysfunctional mindset. Henyard's participation in the altercation merely serves to emphasize the deeply ingrained problems in D. What will it take in these communities for things to change? Will Henyard be held accountable for her involvement in the most recent scandal? Or will the political unrest persist with no tangible end in sight? It is obvious that something needs to happen quickly, but will Henyard spearhead that change? Or will this be the last phase of her contentious career? What do you believe Dalton and Thornton Township need to do? That's all we have for today. What do you think about the idea of hiring a new leader, or is Henyard the right person to make that change? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you haven't subscribed yet, click the button. As always, we'll be back with more stories that the media won't tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Are the Thornton Township brawl and Henyard's role in it a sign of things to come, or just another blip in a long line of political chaos? Until we meet again, thanks for watching Visual Vortex.